Hello, everyone. Welcome to SalesHood Live. This webinar is all about enabling our sellers to self-source pipeline. It's the sales enablement playbook to enable our sellers to self-source pipeline. I am so excited about this topic, and here's what we hope you're going to walk away from. Number one, how to get your teams owning prospecting and doing more prospecting and doing higher quality prospecting. How do we get our teams to build pipeline? How do we create a scalable coaching program to enable our teams to do the sourcing of pipeline? And then finally, how do we measure the impact, right? So self-sourcing pipeline is hard work. Most of us in the industry need each of our sellers to have anywhere from 3 to 5x the amount pipeline coverage so they can hit their quotas. And so how do we get our teams to own pipeline? How do we enable our managers to develop our people so they can source pipeline? And then how do we prove value and measure the impact? Now, if you like what you see today, I'm going to go through, share a little bit of best practices, and then we're going to dig in and I'm going to show you a demo of the 5-minute territory plan. I love it. The 5-minute territory plan is a unique way to get teams aligned. I'm going to show you how we did it here at SalesHood. And if this is interesting to you, and if you're not a customer and you want to become a customer, you want to try it, we can get you hooked up in the hood with a trial, and that way you can run the 5-minute territory plan as a huddle, which is a great way to collaborate, share best practices with your teams, and we get you going. So that is it, and let's move forward. So I love starting these webinars with a little bit about what is sales enablement. So for those of you that don't know, I wrote a book called Enablement Mastery, and in the book, we define what is enablement. It's the alignment of people, processes, and priorities to get our teams to grow their business, to get our teams to boost their sales productivity. And we do it with learning and coaching and go-to-market alignment and content sharing, but it's a system, it's a process. And what we're doing today is we're going deep on one process, which is the process of enabling our sellers to self-source pipeline. If you haven't read the book, I encourage you to get it. The book is deep and it's rich with best practices, and I go through in detail and explain the enablement process map. Every company that wants to speed up their sales enablement impact needs to be thoughtful about how enablement gets rolled out. And that's why I wrote the book. That's why we started with what is sales enablement, and that's why we've got the sales enablement, the enablement process map here. And so think about rolling out a sales enablement program like self-sourcing pipeline. You got to define your metrics and KPIs. On this one, it's pretty straightforward. Self-source pipeline. We want to measure how much pipeline our sellers are creating. Super simple. Set the goal, be clear on expectations, and then you want to build a learning program that's going to enable our sellers to be more proficient at prospecting, and then develop a program that enables our managers to reinforce. And then we want to communicate the best practices, and then we want to make sure that our email templates are super rich and and really adding value so that way we can execute on the customer engagement. And then we want to share successes, right? That's a process. And most companies don't think about sales enablement in the sense of a process, but it is a process. And you know, companies today that follow that process are achieving amazing results. Like RingCentral, go check out their RingCentral stock, 10x in the last 3 years since they started embracing the sales enablement process and using SalesHood. And I love this story. Sarah Frick's a good friend, and she decided with her leadership team, her sales leadership team last year, that they needed to focus in and develop a program and a process around boosting sales productivity. And so how did she do it? Or what did she accomplish? She was able to realize 5x increase in pipeline. She was able to, have a closed won on that pipeline of about 30%, and dramatically increase the number of coaching conversations around self-sourcing pipeline. It's a great story. And how did they do it? They built a process for territory planning, account planning with coaching huddles and social selling training and prospecting training. And they were even recognized by LinkedIn as an amazing company that was able to generate great outcomes using their programs. And they powered it all with SalesHood. And I'm going to show you a day in the life of how you can execute a program to enable your sellers to self-source pipeline. I'm going to show it to you inside of SalesHood. So I want to show you a demo of the 5-minute territory plan so you can see how it works. It's pretty amazing. And so I'm going to log into SalesHood, and I'm logged in as me. I'm the CEO, and consider me the, I'm running a sales team right now as well. So the equivalent of a frontline manager. So from a persona perspective, I'm logged into SalesHood. This is how we use SalesHood. You can see on my homepage, I've got a 2020 territory planning and prospecting huddle. We just completed it this week. I can see the completion. And here it is. It's front and center. It's important to us as the team. And I can go look at it. And when I go look at the 2020 territory planning and prospecting huddle, and what's beautiful about a huddle is it enables teams who are spread around the world to come together, to share knowledge, to share best practices, to collaborate, to get access to each other's experiences, and to ultimately be more productive. And in this instance, boost sales productivity, self-source more pipeline. And so what we've created is we've created a territory planning huddle, which, look at the modules here. There is a coaching video. There's a place for the team to upload their territory plans. They can share prospecting tactics. Then there's sharing successes videos, which is great. And then there are some team successes here. And you can see, let's plan our deals together and help each other exceed our quota. There's a bunch of supporting documents around sales outreach, sales enablement. There's a territory plan. Let's go check that out. What's that? So there's a one-slide territory plan, and anyone that is on this webinar and anyone that wants access to it, it's available off of our website. But you can see it's a simple one-slide territory plan. Boom. Super easy. This is why we can talk about the 5-minute territory plan, and I can go here, I can add comments, love it. So it's social, and I can see how many people have viewed it, downloaded, and so forth. And so what we're doing, remember, is we're trying to get our teams to follow a process. And in this instance, the process is a process for self-sourcing pipeline, and we're being super clear on expectations. And I'm the host, so I'm the manager in this instance. And you can see everybody on my team, Amy and Grant and Michelle and Rob and Josh. These are all the folks. Now, we've already completed the territory planning and the collaboration, the best practice sharing. So what you can see here is you can see the stats. I can see the activities. I can see the completion. Now, why is this data interesting? As a manager, I want to know who's doing the work. I want to know who's completed it. I want to know who hasn't completed it. And that's key information for me when I'm doing one-on-one coaching. But what I also want to know is I want to then correlate the data, the activity data, the completion data with pipeline, so I can see which of the sellers are generating the most pipeline. Now, I love it. We ran this exercise over the last 2 weeks, and we've generated a ton of pipeline. So we've seen the ROI on it personally. You saw Ring Central, the story before, they've also seen it. And so when you take an initiative like self-sourcing pipeline, when you organize it this way, when you get senior leadership, like myself in this instance, or if you're going to roll this out, you get your leaders
really proud of the team
to record a video. And you can see here, you've got video recording, we've got closed caption, we've got transcripts, we can have all that greatness. A lot of our customers and a lot of sellers like to play back the video a little faster just to kind of hear it, so they can get through the content a little faster. That's okay. You can see, you can add comments and questions, but the point here is let's get our teams aligned. Let's be clear on expectations. And that's the purpose of this video right here. And then here's a visual of the plan that I showed you. And then where the collaboration happens, where the magic happens, everybody on the team is, what's your new business revenue commit? What's your stretch goal for January? And then you can see here, everybody is adding in their plans, uploading it here. And you can see, what we're doing is we're adding the commentary. And what you've got is you've got a place where your teams can collaborate. You're asking everyone to upload a plan. You're asking everyone to do it in the same place. Everybody can see each other's plans. Hence, this is what a huddle is. Clear expectations, clear collaboration, one place to capture all this. It's not sitting somewhere. It's alive, and it's something that you can reference later. Now, by launching this huddle, what you've got is you've got a lot of workflow. So whoever doesn't complete the word is getting notified. And then we can continue down the path of having people collaborate and engage. And you can see here, what are some prospecting tips and tricks that you've done? What's worked for you? And you can see everybody on the team here is throwing out some ideas. What are some new and creative marketing prospecting ideas? Rob is sharing, let's offer, some reviews. Amy's saying some road shows. I love it, and Grant saying, let's send everybody a FedEx copy of Enablement Mastery. Very good. Michelle is talking about regional one-day events. So listen, the team is collaborating around best practices to self-source pipeline. We're asking them, what would help you self-source more pipeline? And they're sharing feedback and insight. Think about the collaboration between sales and marketing. And so taking a step back, right? So what have we done? We're talking about self-sourcing pipeline. We're talking about setting clear expectations with the coaching video. We're talking about creating a place for everybody to share and upload their plans. We're talking about a place where they can share ideas. And then after we roll out the huddle, think about that enablement process map. I want everyone to share successes. And so then I asked everyone to start sharing some prospecting success stories. And I recorded a video, and I was able to get everybody to start talking about some of their successes and even sharing some of their emails that are working, which is amazing. It's really great. And then now think about this for a second. I'm a leader. I've rolled out the territory planning huddle. I got my teams engaged. I'm cross-referencing the data to Salesforce. I can see who's generating pipeline. I can see who's not generating pipeline. It's pretty amazing. But you know what I want to do? I want to congratulate everyone, and I want to do a quick video, and I can go do that. I can go add a video module, and I go into here, and I can go just record a quick video, and then I can just say something super simple. Hey, everyone. Really excited for the great work we've been doing with territory planning and self-sourcing pipeline. Congratulations on all the great work. Let's keep the momentum going. We're going to get together next week to see how things are happening and to see what we can do to continue to support you in your efforts to self-source more pipeline. Boom. Record that, stop it. Hey, everyone. And then I upload that video, and then that gets uploaded. And then everybody is now notified that video has been uploaded, and we're congratulating them, and we're closing the loop here to ensure that we're providing the right coaching materials, the right coaching aids. I'm going to go ahead and publish that. And that's it, right? Think about what's just happened. We've created a scenario where, you know, in real time, we want to ensure that our teams are self-sourcing pipeline. I'm going to just kind of bring that down a little bit so you can see there's my new video I just loaded in. They're self-sourcing pipeline, they're collaborating, they're sharing best practices. Now, that's just one huddle. What we've also created is an entire path for prospecting. And I want to show you that one of the things we do really well with SalesHood is we provide content, and there's a library of best practices. And that's one of the things that's unique to SalesHood. And so we've created a self-sourcing pipeline path here. So that's one huddle. It's great. But you can see here we've got an entire path that leverages all of our great content. So maybe you want to have a 30-day prospecting bootcamp where in the first week everybody records their pitch, updates their LinkedIn profile. In the second week they're doing territory planning, account planning, and account research, best practices, and then they're actually going through and doing the prospecting and doing the multi-touch outreach. So you've got the opportunity to use SalesHood as a way to collaborate, share best practices, get your team skilled up, keep folks aligned, and ultimately get everybody to self-source more pipeline. And you know, that was the aim with this webinar. I wanted to show everyone, get everyone inspired around a way that you can take territory planning, account planning, and self-sourcing pipeline to the next level to create a space where people are able to collaborate, share knowledge, share best practices, and then ultimately help everyone be better at self-sourcing pipeline and closing more deals. And that's the demo that I wanted to go through. I just want to close, and then we'll take some questions. I want to close with multipliers. We have our multipliers conference coming up in March, and multipliers is a great way to come together and work with hundreds of practitioners, network with hundreds of practitioners, and advance your career in sales enablement, and come together to learn best practices like this one and spend a couple days together to ultimately have a bigger and a greater impact at your company. So let me answer this question. So now I got a question. So you may answer this later, but wondering if it integrates with Microsoft Teams. Love it. So the question is, how does SalesHood integrate with Microsoft and Microsoft Teams? Absolutely. We're integrated with SharePoint. We've got a Dynamics integration coming out in the next few months as well, sub 90 days, and super excited. Like, we are beautifully integrated with Drive, Box, SharePoint, Microsoft, Salesforce. Got another question here. Let me go back up into here. And so how do I start a trial? So if you're interested in running a trial on territory planning or on self-sourcing pipeline, you can run a trial with the territory planning huddle as a standalone. You can run a trial with the entire path that we set up. Go to the website, request a trial, and my team will follow up accordingly. But the territory planning huddle is good to go, and it's you can literally run a trial. You can sign up for a trial, get it going, have your teams uploading their territory plans today or tomorrow, as quickly as that. Well, everyone, I want to say thank you very much for sitting in the SalesHood live webinar on enabling our sellers to self-source pipeline, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next one. Thank you very much.